Hey guys, I'm Andrew, also known as Mr. Payne on the forum, so now you can put a face to that name that you've seen so much around. And I wanted to shoot this quick video because I've noticed recently there's been a lot of great content put out about how to use Afflow, also known as Monetizer, and services like YTZ. There's been great information put out about that, and I've seen that there's been a couple of follow-alongs started as well. Some beginners are using that to get their feet wet and get off the ground, and I thought I would chip in and show a strategy that I like to use to quickly find some converting segments, and usually I can make a little bit of money right away within about 24 hours, sometimes less than that. I can find something that's working and target that really well and get some money coming in. So usually I start with a test of about $100, find 3 or 4 geos and verticals that are working, and then I bounce over and target those areas specifically and start making some money with that. So I wanted to show you my strategy. I mostly use it really for when I'm not motivated or I'm having a hard time finding some big campaigns, and I just want to get some conversions coming in to get my heart rate beating a bit. But maybe you'll find it helpful, and I wanted to share it with you. You guys are the first people to see it, so feel free to leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think about it, and I hope it can help you in some way. So let's take a step back to my desk, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. Alright, so the first thing that we want to do is to log into Afflow. I'm not going to show you how to set up your whole Afflow account, but I'm going to show you how I create my links when I'm going to run a test. So let's go down here to Campaigns tab, click on Links, and then we want to click on the Create Link button. We can see several options here. What I do for global campaign tests is I keep it at V-Auto, which essentially means the Afflow algorithm is going to use what it knows is working best in every geo and based upon the traffic segment type. So leave it at V-Auto. I have a default domain selected. I want to choose a league as global tests. And a lot of times I like to put in my own names. So what we'll do is video aggressive. ARG stands for aggressive. So this is me setting up an aggressive link. I put the link name, usually the same thing. We're going to be running it on Zeropark, so we leave that alone. All this stuff will be populated if you do your Zeropark integration with Afflow. We want to make sure that all of these items are enabled. So LP exit pop, let's make sure that's enabled. All of these are enabled. 10 seconds. Monetize desktop traffic, yes. We also want to add these in, but we'll do that in just a moment. For a general global test, I don't ever select anything different on these 4 options below the V-Auto options, offer targeting, whitelisting, and routing. I always leave that the same. What I'm going to do is click Create now. It's telling me that I need to have a bounce link created, which we'll do that in just a moment here. So let's go back, actually, click Done. We'll go back into the same link that I just created. We're going to go to bounce link, and we're going to select the link that I just created. So what this is going to do is it's going to serve a pop-up that goes through the V-Auto link, and then when they try to bounce or exit, not bounce or exit, but the back button, bounce, it's going to send them right back through the same exact link. It may or may not show them the same offer, but it's going to send them right back to the same link. And I also like to do the same exact thing for the pop under link. I click the same link. So essentially, I'm just really aggressively promoting them through the same exact link, no matter what they do. So that's how I like to do it. So then we'll save changes. And then we'll go to show promotion methods, and this is where you have your different links. So this would be the link that we grab right here, and you'd put that link directly in your tracker. So now let's go over to my tracker, and I'm going to show you guys a test that I ran back in November. So I don't use this method very often. It's not my core strategy. It's not how I make a lot of money. There probably are those who are making a good chunk of change using Afflow, and I've spoken to several who have. But me personally, it's not my primary strategy. But once in a while, I like to run it. It's fun. It's usually almost every single time I run it, I get some solid conversions. And I tend to stick with Zeropark and pop ads most of the time when I'm running my tests, but I also run tests on other traffic sources as well from time to time. As you can see here, I had a couple of links set up, but so I'm not going to set up the one that we just had, but you take that link that we had right here, grab that, add it to your tracker, set up a campaign that's direct linking to that one specific link, which would be like this one here, monetizer, global, link, aggressive. I had this one set up, which was not an aggressive one, but I had to change it over real quick because I didn't want traffic running to that one. And this was a small test of something, I'm not even sure. But anyways, as you can see on this test, this was back in, this is about November 10th, I believe, last year, so just a few months ago. I spent $100, almost to the, right on the dot, $100, well, $100.19. Total revenue was $43 over this whole campaign, so it came in at about a negative 56% ROI. Usually when I do tests like this, the initial $100 test is anywhere from a negative 40% ROI to negative 60% ROI. Somewhere in that ballpark is where it usually falls if you follow what I'm sharing. The cost per view, which is the CPM, I was literally bidding only 10 cents, which fortunately Zeropark lets you do that. And you can see the total number of visits and so forth. Another great benefit of running this test, if you have Volume and using Zeropark, is that all of the traffic events are completely free, so there's no cost to that. So that's a great perk if you're trying to be mindful of your budget and get some momentum going with your affiliate marketing efforts. So what I want to do real quick is show you guys the results that I got by the country, and I'll show you the mobile carriers and some other data and so forth. And it shows you how you can take segments that are profitable really quickly, create new campaigns targeting just those segments, and make some quick profits, usually in under 24 hours. So once you get all your results coming in and all the delayed conversions show up between 12 and 24 hours, you have some very actionable data to work with, and you can set up some new campaigns and start profiting. So let's go over here to the country section of this campaign test. And for now, I'm going to sort by total number of visits. As you can see, there's traffic from all kinds of different geos. I went into Zeropark, and I literally selected every single possible geo. Now, keep in mind, when you're running these kind of tests, I like to try to spread it out over a 12-hour period or close to that, because you have different time zones, different times of the day. So one geo might not work very well right now, but in 12 hours from now, when it's daytime in that geo, it could potentially work. So it's a great idea to maybe run two tests, one over a first 12-hour period and the second test over a second 12-hour period. That way you get a full 24 hours of testing, but you can follow the method that I'm talking about. So what I typically like to do is I like to sort by total conversions, and this lets me know what geos are actually showing conversions. And I typically only pay a lot of attention to geos that are converting 4, 5, 6 conversions or more with my initial test. As you can see, most of these geos got anywhere from $1.50, well, even as low as 9 cents here. But you can see there's been a lot of different geos between a few cents up to $4 or $5 is really what's being spent per geo, but it's enough data coming in to get some initial results. So what you can see here is when you look at the ROI column, 222% ROI, 255% ROI, 105% ROI, 160% ROI. So these are showing great signs. Typically, I look for anything that's negative 50% ROI or better, because a lot of times when you dive into it a little bit further, you see that the mobile carrier or a particular operating system like Android or iOS is doing really well. And in some cases, there might be just one really awesome placement that's doing all the conversions. So if you're targeting just that, it turns that campaign profitable right away. So what I want to do next is go to the grouping here, and I'm going to choose mobile carrier, and we'll click apply. And we're going to change this to table, because what I want to do is show you, see what the best absolute segments are. that's working. So let's see, the first one that's getting us the most conversion is in the country of Ukraine. And the mobile carrier, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that, but that's the mobile carrier. And if you look here, I got 2,275 visits and 31 conversions. I literally spent 27 cents and I made $5. That's a huge ROI. Look at that right there. 1,900% ROI, $5 profit from just a quick, simple test. So now what I would suggest doing is going inside of Afflow. You can look at your stats in Afflow and find out the exact offer in vertical that is converting for this country under this mobile carrier. And I would create a new link that's targeting just that particular offer. Some people like to add in multiple offers or keep it open to the entire vertical for that geo. But I prefer to just target that specific offer, milk the best offer while it's still available, and then move on from there. But if you look, out of my initial test, I have the Ukraine, here's Mexico with the mobile carrier Movistar. I spent 1 penny, literally 1 penny, and it made $2.52, which is a great, huge ROI. But again, this is small volumes. But if you see here, you have Brazil. You could look and dive a little bit further into the stats for Brazil and see what's up. Same for Morocco, Thailand. Here we go, Australia. This is a 4-cent offer, and it's converting at 38%. That's huge. So, and just a little bit of traffic coming in. So I would take all of these that are already showing a high ROI, again, create their own specific link in Afflow, create a new campaign for each individual country targeting just those carriers, and set up a campaign to target using just that new link for that one geo and carrier. And so you'll have a handful of little bitty campaigns, but collectively you could be doing $50 to $100 a day in just a day or two after you've run the initial test results. If you look right here, even this one here, Malaysia, you have this one down here, that's a potential, which is Indonesia with a carrier XL. Now some of these, the volume is really small, so the sample data may not be enough to really say, okay, it's going to be a good profit campaign. But when you get to the ones that are like this, 10 plus conversions, especially Ukraine, then you can definitely make good money off of it for a couple of days. So definitely dive in and do so. I can tell you for sure, since this campaign is a little bit older, I did run through and revisit the Australia 4-cent offer one, and I did make some good money off that for a few days, as well as some of these other ones that you see here. So just to give you a little bit further example, let's break things down a little further. Let's go into this drill down report, or you just break it down this way. Here we go. Sorry, it's a little bit older data, so it's taking a moment here to load up. So we've got the Ukraine. We'll go over here to the mobile carrier. Come on. We can see that Wi-Fi got 1 conversion, but look at the ROI. We don't want to deal with any of these because none of these converted, but this one's converting like crazy. So let's click on that, dive down a little bit further. And just to get an idea of what's working, let's click on OS. We want to see what OS is deriving all the results. And as we can see here, pretty much all the traffic is coming straight from Android. So the next thing we want to do is let's go here to Target. And let's see if it's converting by a bunch of different placements, or if there's just a handful of different placements that are converting. All right, great. Look here. There's about, I don't know how many actual placements are sending traffic, but not a ton. But if you'll notice, most of the conversions are coming from just about 10 or 15 placements right now. Now there could potentially be more than that, but you know for sure that you could be bidding up pretty quickly on these and get some quick traction coming in. But even if you're targeting just these from just a small test of half an hour or an hour or however long the test went for this particular geo, look at these ROIs coming in from that. So you can quickly make some easy cash doing this. And so this is a great way to know you target Ukraine, target this mobile carrier, and you set up a campaign that's targeting just the Android iOS, since we know, or Android OS, since we noticed that all the traffic's Android, that's working. We can also check devices just to make sure it's all coming from a mobile device. And if you notice here, it's coming from both mobile and tablet, so I would suggest targeting both mobile and tablet. And then for this campaign, I would run a RON campaign on Zeropark and just target everything, but then just watch it, and anything that's not converting really quickly or at a profitable rate, just blacklist those placements. So let's see if there was any bad placements that could have been blacklisted in this here. So we'll sort by total number of visits. Like, look at this one, the very first one, 150 visits, 0 conversions. It only spent a penny, but more than likely it's not going to convert a lot. It's possible, so it's not, I wouldn't cut it out right now, but if you notice, the ones that are converting really well are already converting multiple times off of just a couple of pennies. So if you want to get to profits really quickly, just cut everything that's not converting really quick and focus on those that are getting multiple conversions very quickly. And that means you're going to cut all the bad placements out and focus on just what's working right away and start making profits. What I want to show you real quick is going back to Afflow. Let's say that we're creating a new link after you found a geo that works well and a vertical that works well. And if you dive into your stats under Afflow, you can really look at exactly the vertical and specifically the offer number that they've assigned that's working well. So what I like to do is I like to come back, take that vertical, and let's say that vertical is, apps. And then I'll reset up everything just like I did the first time. Same thing with the pop under, the bounce link, all that stuff. Make sure this is all enabled. And then I go to offer targeting, and now I type in the country, which will say Ukraine. I select just Ukraine because I want to be very specific. And if you notice, for Ukraine targeting apps, these are all the offer numbers that they're rotating. Now, sometimes I let it rotate all the offers in that vertical. Other times, if say this was the offer that was performing really well in my Afflow stats, I will target just that one offer and let it run, because a lot of times these other offers may not be performing at all, or just at a much lesser rate. So I just want to milk it while I can, and I target just that specific offer. So we're targeting Ukraine, just this particular offer. Because we know that that's working with the carrier and everything that we have been targeting. Yeah, so there we go. I don't really mess too much with these other things. You can do the carriers if you wanted to, but it's easier just to keep it all carrier, because we know that this offer is working for the carrier that we're going to be targeting on the traffic source. So at that point, again, you click create. Of course, I don't have everything set up, but you create it all, set up a new campaign, add this to your tracker, and you're good to go. And you should start profiting. Again, set your bid low. I would set a small budget and kind of do the same process to just see what's working and cut out what's not working pretty quickly. So I put together just a quick slide to show you the process, what I like to call find the honey method. Part one is just setting up your initial Afflow link and setting up your initial global Zeropark campaign, which I can run through in just a moment and show you kind of the general way to set that up. What you want to do is make sure you create an aggressive link in Afflow, set up the campaign in Zeropark, targeting all the geos, set your initial budget to only $5. Reason why is because you're targeting all the geos, you're going to get a tremendous amount of traffic, and it's going to blow through that $5 very quickly. But if you set the budget low, the Zeropark system is going to stop the traffic as soon as it can, and you'll probably end up with like $10 or $15 in spend. So, which is fine, that's what you want because it's spread out across so many different countries. But always keep your initial budgets very low. And same thing with your initial bid. Set your initial bid at 10 cents CPM, not $10, not $1, 10 cents, which is 0.0001. Let your budget run out. Wait about 30 to 60 minutes because conversions are a lot of times very delayed in Afflow, just the way the system's set up. Sometimes it's real time, sometimes it's not. It's going to depend on the offer and who it's coming from. And there's a lot of times where you'll still get conversions hours or even up to 24 hours or so later. So usually the majority come in pretty quickly though. but you want to wait before you do any other budget adjustments into the campaign. You want to make sure something's working and not just blowing through all your budget. Part 2 to this is you want to collect data for the global campaigns, for the global geos rather. You want to review the data, pause any geos in Zeropark with more than $5 spend and are negative 75% ROI or worse. That's because it's just not showing a lot of potential early on, so you want to conserve your budget and be safe with that. The next thing you want to do is increase your budget another $5 and then repeat the process. Run more traffic again, let Zeropark shut down traffic once it hits your budget, and you can reanalyze the data once again, cut any or pause any geos that are not performing or that have spent $5 and are worse than negative 75% or worse. Now, if the geo has spent $5 and it shows sign of life, like it has potential, I usually still pause it and go ahead and start diving into the details of it and to set up a new campaign. So you don't have to keep running traffic to something that's already working. Just go ahead and move that to its own campaign and let the rest of your test budget go to the other geos that you're still trying to test. I usually spend about $100 on that initial test that I try to spread out over an 8 to 12 hour period. Sometimes it doesn't last that long, but as long as you're getting some conversions coming in, then I usually kind of let it run. But the main thing is you want to spread that budget out across as many geos as possible to see what's actually working and give each one a good chance. The third part is you want to review the data. Like I just showed you in my tracker, you want to go through and sort the data by most conversions, and then click the view that shows you the country and the mobile carrier that's performing well. Look for anything with 5+ conversions and 100% ROI or better. That's just kind of like a basic line to kind of judge things by. Obviously you can use your own judgment, and as you start to use a method like this, things might expand and you could be a little more flexible with that line if you prefer to. Then you also want to look at geo, mobile carrier, and targets just to see if it's converting across a lot of different placements or if it's converting across just a handful. Make sure you also check your operating system, Android, iOS, just to see what's working, and your device type, just to make sure that when you set up the new campaign that you're targeting only what's actually converting in your initial test. That way you don't waste any spend or time, and you just start making some green profit right away. Lastly, this is isolating the best segments. Create the new Afflow link for each geo and the best performing offer. Set up a new campaign in Zeropark targeting just those best segments like I just mentioned. And then right away, take the same process, bid low, start with a lower budget, and monitor the data coming in. Cut any placements that aren't converting. Like on those low payout offers, if things aren't converting really quickly, you probably just go ahead and block those placements. And that's it. That's how you can quickly jump into making extra profits. Now I'll just quickly show you how you can set up that campaign in Zeropark. You can simply go to new campaign, premium PPV. You want to go to multi-geo. Click on run campaign. Type in your campaign name. Click over here to countries. We'll just say test campaign. Go to countries. I do select all. Again, set your bid to 0.0001. Set your budget to $5. Go to show all. I like to click on mobile, and in this case I usually leave it just as is. I don't change anything. I want to get as much crazy traffic as possible. I go to frequency filters. I click on 24 hours. I do both adult and non-adult. For day parting, nothing gets changed, and you add your campaign link right here. Click save and you're good to go. Right away your campaign's set. You can run this kind of campaign all the time. So you can use one campaign and that one global link that you set up in Afflow, and then just occasionally revisit this and retest that day or that week or whatever you're wanting to do, and get things rolling from there. So I hope this helps you guys, get you some ideas. It's really geared for the beginners or the noobs. Those who are just trying to get their feet wet, not lose a lot of money, but they want to get some traction going with their affiliate marketing efforts, and just ultimately you can see some conversions coming in right away and see some green profit, which is always a mental boost, and just kind of helps you take that next step. So cheers guys, this is the I just posted this on SDM, so this has not been published anywhere else. So for now, it's exclusive to you guys, but shortly it will be published on my blog that I'm launching soon. So stay tuned for more information. I'm going to try to put out some more content like I have been in the past on SDM. I've been really busy lately, but I want to kind of give back some more. So cheers, guys.